You guys really seem to enjoy the last Anbennar video, which is great because I love playing Anbennar, as you can probably tell. So I've decided, at the very least, I want to make a video for each of the different fantasy races in Anbennar, and maybe also one for humans. Maybe. There are some interesting human ones, but to be fair, every time I boot up EU4, I'm basically playing humans. So, a brief introduction for the people watching who are probably very confused by what they're looking at. There's a good chance you watch this channel, you know what Europa Universalis 4 is, of course, but Anbennar is a total fantasy conversion mod for that game. Imagine if you took a Dungeons and Dragons campaign and decided, yeah, let's just make a geopolitics simulator out of it. Wouldn't that be cool? And to be fair, it is cool. It's got new fantasy races like dwarves and elves and harpies and goblins, etc, etc. Tons of religions, tons of mechanics, lots of lore in this as well. Trying to understand all of Anbennar at a first glance is like pretty much impossible. So, we're going to focus on one region today, specifically one country and one fantasy race. So playing as your Korsic, what's the most important thing to know? Well, we're playing as gnolls, and gnolls are basically hyena humanoids. They're rather tall. I'm pretty sure the shortest gnoll is like 6'4", or about 190 centimeters in normal person terms. And because we are a fantasy race compared to humans, we need to have a couple of changes to balance out the way that gnolls are compared to every other fantasy race. So we have more attrition for enemies, meaning we defend better. We have a couple other things that are somewhat useful. Most interestingly, we can perform slave raids automatically just by being gnolls, and also we have pretty decent Republican tradition. Surprisingly, a gnoll republic would not be that crazy in terms of gameplay strategy. As for the military, we're a little bit better in the early game because we deal extra shock damage, but a little bit worse in the late game because we receive additional fire damage. The rest are just cool little modifiers, not incredibly impactful. Also important to note that we are considered a monstrous nation compared to most other, well, not even fantasy races, because some fantasy races are considered monstrous in some places, but not monstrous in other places. It depends on the country as well. We are firmly considered monstrous by the countries around us, though. All of these guys are humans. Over here we have some more gnolls, and then we have some more, I think these are humans? Pretty sure they're humans. So humans, some gnolls that don't like us, some gnolls that kind of like us, but we have to invade them at some point. And then these guys, which usually don't like us. There is one thing that sets us apart from most other gnolls though, and that is our religion. We follow this one, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but compared to this other one that I'm also not going to try to pronounce, we are the generally more, just less sacrifice. This gnoll religion believes that they were created from demonic spirits and that they can be possessed, so they have like a cult of possession and demonic energy spirit kind of thing. Meanwhile, our religion, we sort of figure that a goddess uplifted hyenas and gave them the ability to reason and that kind of thing. So, very different ideas of where the gnolls came from. And to start things off, we're going to need to increase the army size to 90% of the force limit. Should be pretty easy. In fact, I'll probably just hire a couple of adventurers because I don't think we have any professionalism. So, yeah, it's a little weird to have the monsters hiring the adventurers, but hey, as long as they get paid, I don't think they care. As for rivals, we definitely want to rival, I think, this guy. Also the gnolls to our west, and definitely the gnolls to our north. The opening play is a little bit specific. We can't seize Crown Land yet, but we can start with our privileges by handing out a couple things for loyalty. We also need the manpower, that would be nice. The mages are always annoying because you can't really give them much. They can have this though. We do also need to start converting these provinces to our religion, and because of the way we need to set things up, I think it would be best for us to hand out land rights to the monstrous tribes. Only because we don't really want to seize Crown Land yet, but we need to get them to 60 loyalty. And also we don't want to sell Crown Land because we need to have 30% for this mission. So it's kind of a fine balance. Actually, it is going to take quite a few years for us to finish converting this stuff, which means it'll take at least a few years for us to be able to finish this mission. We don't need all that Crown Land. I think it's fine. Instead, how about we just sell it? We can finish off this mission immediately, then we can take some Crown Land back. Plain Touched Commander, not really sure what this means. I think someone in a stream told me that Plain Touched means that they're basically like element benders from Avatar or something like that. Anyway, first order of business, we will be annexing our neighbor. Don't worry, they're also gnolls for the most part. I mean, half the country isn't, but don't worry about that. I'm realizing now that I actually didn't want to do this. Maybe I shouldn't have invaded these guys. If I take any territory, then it's going to reduce my religious unity pretty drastically. And we need to have 40%. I'm going to take these provinces up here, take a lot of money, go for Humiliate War Reps, and this thing, Loot Kvang Scrap. which will apparently give us 50 church power and inflict 50 devastation on a random area owned by these guys. Now, I don't actually know what our abilities do, but I would like to find out, so I'm gonna take that. The reason I took those provinces is because they do belong to another country, or they could belong to another country, one that used to exist apparently, Mokatanga, and we're gonna release them as a vassal. However, apparently we can also raise, which is probably because, yeah, we're a null pack. Null packs are kind of hordes, sort of. I mean, since they're not going to be my provinces, I might as well raise them. Oh, also, yeah, we don't actually have feudalism. In fact, we are one of the few countries that don't have feudalism. Even our fellow gnolls here, they do have feudalism. Not embraced, but they do have it. So I'm just going to take that. The mission tree isn't really giving us a whole lot to work off of right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and move these units up. Actually, just the mercenaries, that'll be fine. These guys will grab this one province for me. Yoink. I'm kind of torn because, like, sure, maybe I should be raising things. Okay. However, we have such little development. Anything I take, I kind of want to state, and I don't think we're even supposed to play, like, horde-wide. Our next target will be Nefiset because they have no allies and they do have quite a bit of territory, which is our religion. So grabbing these will actually improve our religious unity. I did have to chase them all the way down here, which kind of sucks. And we do have Pretender Rebels, but considering the strength of the claim of the Pretender Rebels, I am considering just letting them take control, maybe. Our current ruler is a Sinner and is a 243, which isn't bad, it is average, but maybe we can get something above average. I think this is everything I'm going to want to take in this peace deal. Not going to take the entire thing, again, it's too much of a different religion. I will take this one province though, just so I have a port in the north, and also because we are bordering... Well, these guys aren't specifically gnolls, but these guys over here... Oh, well, I guess they just got recently conquered, but they were gnolls. Since our enemy is actually being occupied by somebody else after these rebels fired, yeah, I'm just gonna finish this peace deal. I will actually just, not break that rivalry. That's fine. So we can pick one of our religious abilities. It's very helpful that it just tells us exactly what each one does. I kind of like build a temple and gain heretic conversion strength. That is the main thing that we're worried about right now. So I think we're going to do that. We build a temple in random province, 0% of the cost, half the time, and we get 4% missionary strength versus heretics, which is enormous. Our total missionary strength is 2. So on heretics, we just tripled that. It's a bit of a shame. We're probably gonna accidentally end up wiping out these Pretender Rebels. I really wish they didn't do this, but okay. In the meantime, I'm just gonna fight these rebels, because why not? New Air 543. Well, I almost feel bad about letting the Pretender Rebels win. Actually, we could retreat. That would be perfect for us. Oh no, we lost. How unfortunate. Tragic. We're just about to enforce demands. Hopefully we get somebody better. Well, I mean, yeah, technically, 10 points is better than 9 points. I was kind of hoping for more though, but okay. At the very least, we're gonna have less unrest because we don't have a Sinner for a ruler. So that's nice. Oh, okay. Well, that's not the worst thing. At the very least, it hasn't really changed our progress at all, so that's kind of fine. Now, let's see some land. The mages aren't gonna like that, but that's fine. We can make the mages a little bit happier by summoning the Diet, and then we'll just take whatever they want. Fire the Inquisitor. Easy, we can do that whenever. But we are going to wait until they have at least 40%, because we do need to make all of the estates loyal. Finally, we've expelled the cult, get a half-cost Inquisitor and a little bit of development for free. And finally, when we get the chance, we're going to invade these guys again. We also need 10 development in the capital, which I was gonna say wouldn't be that bad, but we have a desert for a capital. Nice. And I'm dumb because by firing the Inquisitor, I just completed this and I wasn't supposed to. Well, that's okay. We just have to wait another 5 years. Oh, okay. Never mind. We're not waiting for anything. Okay. Hey there, buddy. Yeah, that's annoying. Well, let's see what we can do to fix that. Nothing. It seems we can't really do anything. Okay, time for a campaign of guerrilla warfare, my favorite kind. I finished this mission, but I'm pretty sure I ended up bugging it by accident, because normally you're supposed to be able to take one of these vassals from one of these overlords, and that's what this mission is supposed to give you, but instead we're just going to lose Liberty Desire in the one subject we made, which is completely unrelated. So, oops. My bad, but it is what it is. Since we do have a human vassal, though, we can just do this. Turn them into a march, give them permanent claims. Problem is, we aren't supposed to have this guy as the march. He's not supposed to be the vassal. In fact, I'm supposed to own this stuff. The vassal's supposed to own this stuff. So, we're gonna hold off on taking that last one, actually. I'm gonna integrate this guy, create a new vassal out of, I don't know, here or something, then press that button. Just need to wait for the next Miltech. In the meantime, I've been picking off random stacks here and there. Don't really want to directly engage them until I have that, because it is a military tactics tech. Very important to take. There we go. Now that's not too tough of a battle. In fact, we should, well, after this next battle that we're going to take, we should have show superiority. They do have a 2-4-3 and we only have a 2-3-3. But things seem to be working out. I've also just cut off my military access through gnolls, so I should be able to stack wipe this guy. Well, it depends. I'm not sure if you can walk through this or not. Nope. That's gonna be a free wipe for me then. That's one fort taken. They did manage to win one battle, but that's okay. I just hired some more mercenaries. Actually, if I'm careful enough, I should be able to grab one of these stacks without fighting the other. As long as I get there on the 6th, just like that. There we go. Okay, I don't think we're necessarily going to need ancestral armaments. We might go with this instead for a bit of money. I don't know how much it will be, but we'll find out. 36 crowns. Well, that's not terrible, actually, considering our economy. I don't think this is the direction I'm supposed to be conquering in, but that's okay. It's not my fault. I didn't attack them. It is excellent land to raise, though. Once again, let's figure out what the mages want. Just fire that guy? I mean, he is half cost. I kind of don't want to, but I need to make the mages happy for a mission. We can also swap that to encourage development, and it's going to be expensive, but we did just raise a bunch of territory. That's pretty high dev, so it's not that bad if we bring this up to 10 development. And then since the mages are just being annoying, I guess fine, we can fire this guy. That'll finish the mission, unlocking the clergy estate for us. It also gives the clergy sand molding, which I imagine is probably going to be something to do with developing. Also, from now on, we will not be able to claim the stewardship of the Sorrow, which is just the Emperor of China mechanic. That's the name. And to finish off this mission, we just need to have the modifier repurposed relics. So it's going to take a few more months, then we can just grab that, no problem. Of course, we'll give the clergy religious state. We could use more points. Also, oversight by the clergy, enforce unity of faith, expansionist zealotry would also make sense. Development of temples, of course. Then we have sand molding. Okay. Reduces the development cost penalty from desert and coastal desert provinces by 25%. I assume that means it cuts it in half? Nope, it literally means 25% of the penalty. Okay, so not the craziest development modifier, but I respect that. Sometimes they do get a little bit crazy for no reason. And now that we don't really have to worry about crown land at this point, I guess we can just sell some titles and take some land back. New heir 464, perfect. Glad to see we're making so many friends in this campaign. Although, to be fair, I'm not sure that gnolls are exactly that friendly to humans at the moment. We could decide to tolerate gnomes. I don't really know what gnomes do for us, but why not? It's not like these techs are getting any cheaper, so I might as well go ahead and grab them. It is time for our first reform. I think I'm gonna go for manpower. I did take a few extra years before going back to war just so I could start integrating this guy as well. After all, we don't actually want this subject necessarily. I think I'd much rather just conquer someone and release them. Oh right, we do need to press this button. Forgot about that. Free temple and missionary strength. In fact, instead of converting this, because this will take like another 4 years, I think I'll just like finish these. It will also allow us to finish this mission, turning our ruler into a zealot. Actually, we could wait a year. I just want to see what the personality trait is going to be. If it's good, that's great. If it's terrible, then I made a terrible decision. But lawgiver, you know what? It's all right. Kind of neutral, actually. Doesn't really matter. So we finish this, get our permanent claims. Ruler's now a zealot, so we have faster missionary strength. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take out this rival pack. That was pretty quick. Yoink. It is a little bit expensive to core, so I wouldn't mind handing a little bit over to my subject. I mean, of course, I'm gonna raise it at the very least. In fact, actually, raising it made it not so expensive, so maybe I'll just core it. And actually, you could have this if you wanted it. Or not? Wait, do I have cores on this? Oh, they have cores on that. Oh, right. Okay, they can have their cores, actually, because then I don't have to core it, they don't have to core it, and I can just integrate them. Looks like we've outpaced a few of our rivals, so we need to grab gnolls and Elisna. Although I kind of would prefer to go with Binwarji. They're going to be a tough fight. Not as tough as Elisna. We do have a little bit of crown land we can sell off. We'll see some back, of course, and we can pay off, well, it could pay off all our loans. Guess we should. I think I mentioned that this mod also has an incredible amount of lore to it. So, real quick, I'm just gonna hover over each of these missions that we've sort of completed already. And if you want to read those, you just pause the video, of course. Or better yet, just download the mod yourself. Nice obligatory stability event. Perfect. Just what you need when you're playing a country that starts off behind everyone else around it. We can give more to the clergy, and I kind of want more Diplo reps, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab that. Having recently played a game as Harpies, where you pretty much have to roll over humans and elves, this is possibly one of the best age rewards I have ever seen in any mod ever. It's like every few years you just get like 150 points and like 100 ducats. It's crazy. Also, it's really funny to me, by the way, that like the cavalry for gnolls is just them riding other hyenas. Like, if you take a look at the cavalry, it's just them riding other hyenas. I don't know why that's so funny to me. This war is almost done. I'm starting to think I'm going to declare war on this guy instead of this guy. There are no releasables in here, but I can get maybe one releasable if they full annex this guy, and I think they probably will. So that'll be nice. And I do need a releasable, of course, for that one mission. Look at that. Perfect. It's exactly what I was hoping for. It's just really unfortunate for these guys that the gnolls have better technology than they do. Honestly, they should have seen this coming, though. There we go. Subject's been annexed, and now we can't finish this mission anymore. But we can finish this one. I'm not sure because some missions do this, sometimes they don't, but if I increase this center of trade to level 2, maybe it'll get improved to level 3? Maybe? At the very least, I'm gonna wait. These sieges really do take forever. Alright, let's fight this guy, I guess. More points for free, thank you. And with their dying breath, the enemy decides to go tackle my rebels. Well, that's very nice of them. Thank you, guys. Ooh, that's a whole lot of reading. We have not found the birthplace of the Empire. We may have found the birthplace of magic itself. Base? God Fragment Ruin? There is so much to this game, I have no idea what's going on. Good for them, though, I guess. That sounds like it's gonna be, basically the equivalent of like when you're in the New Worlds and you're looking for like the Fountain of Youth. I think that's a similar event. I think that's the point, maybe. I was going to let this guy get away with a white piece, but I changed my mind and I kind of want his money. Thank you. It's really expensive to boost up stability, but I can't just sit here at -1 forever. Besides, it's not like I'm going to be coring any of this stuff. Oh yeah, I guess that would cause a bit of a coalition, wouldn't it? Maybe I shouldn't take all of this stuff. Maybe. No, that's too bad actually. Yoink. Eh, it's a small coalition. I wouldn't worry about it. Now let's upgrade ourselves to a kingdom, get more governing capacity from that. But that's not even the main point, because all I really want to do is just like release that one guy. I think it's Bokia. Yeah, that's the one. I'm actually not going to raise his territory. I'll be nice. Also because if you raise their territory, they get like really upset, so yeah. Oh, okay. That might be a bit of an issue. This mission tree does not adapt to the country that you want it to be. I would have to re-release that vassal, and I kind of don't want to do that. I feel like that's more so just like an unintended oversight, like they didn't expect people to vassalize a different country and finish this mission and then integrate the subject and actually release the subject that they want to do this mission with. I don't think it's intended. I don't think you're supposed to, you know, have to stick with that one country, so I'm gonna see if I can fix that myself with a couple of scripts, maybe. I did manage to figure out how to fix this, even though I don't really mod this game, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I did figure it out. We now have the correct country turning into a march and getting a bunch of perma claims, and in fact those claims do include all of this territory that I've just taken myself. So am I gonna raise this? Probably not. I'm just gonna hand it over. Because if you raise territory and then hand it to a subject, they are upset about the fact that you raised territory and then gave it to them. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but whatever. Anyway, we can go ahead and sell some titles, see some crown land back. I should have sold those titles back when I had more development, actually, because I think I would have gotten more money, but oh well. We can use that money to repay all of our loans. And in fact, we even have a little bit of extra money left over. Not that there's really a lot to spend that on, but I could upgrade this. In fact, I might go ahead, decrease that autonomy, click a few buttons, go to marketplace, might even raise it to level 2, although I'm not quite sure what that's going to do. And of course, I do need to decrease the unrest, so I'm gonna wait until particularists are angry enough and then I'll just destroy them. Actually, I could just fight them right now. So this will increase the center of trade level by 1, but if I bump it up myself, what does it do? Still increases it by 1? I mean, for 50 ducats, a level 3 center of trade, if that actually works, that's gonna be crazy. Oh, what do you know? I'll take it. Oh yeah, a bit of flavor for this mission, because I think it's kind of funny. Turns out the gnolls don't quite understand feudalism. Ignore the part where we actually have feudalism embraced. That's not important. So the idea is like, okay, what if we just treat the human leader as the pack leader? And then negotiate with them. Whatever works, I guess. It seems all of our aggressive expansion is only with this one religion. None of the other ones really seem to care all that much. So there isn't really a reason for us to stop conquering. Besides, our subject has plenty of claims and we do need to feed them, all of them. Yeah, people aren't too happy about the hyenas going out and conquering all the humans, but that's okay, because we'll just like hand these over to the humans. Humans can rule other humans. Surely that wouldn't be a problem. They're all humans after all. It doesn't really matter who rules who. Surely that won't cause a problem. We've become a great power. Not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and placate this guy. I'm also going to ask for a divert trade. Maybe 2 placates are in order. I just want them to like us a little bit. We do have 200 power. I guess we can't use that, but whatever. Oh, actually, I kind of forgot that you can just accept cultures, and apparently that increases the tolerance of, like, the whole fantasy race as well. And, you know, we are going to be ruling over quite a couple of humans. I kind of want to know what this does. We finally have enough points for it, so let's take a look. Recondition tools. It'll give us 3 development in our capital, I think. No, just a random province. Okay, so not as crazy as I thought it would be. We have just barely enough religious unity, so we can finish off this mission. We get 3 random temples and a couple of perma claims, which is kind of funny because we did technically take some of the stuff that these claims are supposed to give us, but oh well. Turns out after finishing that mission, we've also finished this one, and as the mission flavor suggests, it's great that we have the mystics on our side. Unfortunately, they have no idea what they're doing. So the best they came up with is basically if you complete a trial, then you should be able to rule the country. And that's kind of it. Also, I'm going to hand out 1 additional privilege to the clergy, because if I do that, then I also get 50 church power. Not to mention an additional 20 admin, pretty much for free. So in that case, I'm going to go with something simple like protected burials. Just a bit of prestige, really. So that'll be 80 admin power, 50 religious power, and a stability. Let me go ahead and bump up stability by 1, even if it's very expensive, because you know, free stability. And yeah, that's really awkward. So it turns out we're actually going to need a 3rd stability. So probably should have bumped it up twice, because that's going to be really expensive. Or I can just cross my fingers and hope for an event, I guess. Oh yeah, I do have to develop that institution, don't I? Problem is, the capital's so bad to develop in. It's so bad. Even with the privilege, it doesn't actually change that much. It's still terrible. I really hope the privilege gets, you know, upgraded a little bit later on, because it's just so bad. It looks like it does, but it takes like a really long time to get down there. So I think it's probably still worth it to just move our capital, probably. In fact, we really should move it to this province, shouldn't we? It's a world port, easy reduction in development costs, it's farmlands, already our culture, already our religion. Need I say more? I'll also just drop a temple in there real quick to make it cheaper to develop, but let's go ahead and just move the capital. Temple's done, so let's start developing. There we go, Renaissance. We will have to actually accept the institution, so I'm going to sell a few more titles, take some more land back, and we're going to use that money to embrace the institution. Kind of not fully annexed, but probably partially annexed by Gnolls. It is what it is. And the enemy has surrendered. Perfect. It'll be a full annexation plus all of their money. And as for the stuff I'm going to hand over to my subject, I just need to make sure that I'm not giving them any of these provinces. Well, that's awkward. The point is, all of the Silical cores need to have less than 0 unrest. Fortunately, this one province here already has less than 0 unrest, so it's not a big deal. But because I can't force my subjects to pop their rebels, I can't force them to rise up, I might as well keep those myself. We can sell a few titles, take some land back. Not really sure what to spend that money on, although I guess we could build a mage tower somewhere. In fact, I wouldn't really mind turning this whole coastal area into like a basically metropolitan area. It even has an urban terrain. I'll start with one in the capital. Maybe I'll build more like alongside the coast here, possibly. I think if we force these guys to rise up, we should be able to complete that one mission. Yeah, there you go. Delusions of grandeur. Remember these gnolls over here? They thought they were going to own the entirety of this subcontinent. That mission also gives us a whole bunch of permanent claims that we can use to declare war on the guys we need for this mission, which unfortunately does include the one that we have a truce with. But the truce, I mean, it's not that long. What is that, 6 years? In the meantime, we can just declare war on this guy and this guy, I guess. Although I can't co-belligerent this guy. Why? Because we have a truce with them as well. Okay, I think at this point we might as well just wait for this to finish and then co-belligerent the smaller guy. Just finished doing a couple of army reforms, so now we have 2 stacks of 25. Should be enough to defeat pretty much any army that would try to fight us, which is only important because we do need to invade Deshak, and their alliance block is relatively strong. The current guy in charge is considerably worse than the heir. I mean, I do like Zealot, but that's not going to outweigh the points in this case. So however much it pains me to do this, I do want to complete this mission, and if I abdicate, I will definitely take a stability hit. And that would not be great. So I'm gonna spend the most expensive stability I think I've ever had in a game of EU4, just so I can finish that one mission. I'll also, of course, grab the one thing we need to from our religion. A little bit of money, a little bit of prestige. That works for me. And we grab that one stability, and we can finish this mission. You can pause to read this if you want to, but the TLDR is basically like, the person who should rule should at least have to pass these trials of like going into the desert, surviving, and then coming back. That's basically it. But it does turn us into a theocracy, surprisingly, and also gives us a minus 90% move capital cost modifier, which makes me think maybe I should have, finished this mission and then move the capital, but that's okay. It is interesting that we're just like allowed to move it for really cheap at this point though. That's kind of nice. I think for our first reform, we're just gonna go with this one. An additional missionary is very useful right now. So to pick an heir, wait a second. I just realized I got rid of our heir. No, wait. That was so dumb of me. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter that much, I don't think, unless one of these is, like, particularly bad, but we're gonna go with the Prodigy of Vogmegza. It was a 5-2-3, respectable, decent points, and in fact, they have 6-2-3. I don't know why, but okay. Still, 11 points is better than 10, I guess. Oh yeah, I do need to, like, pick whether or not they're gonna, like, survive, though. That's true enough. If I don't like this heir, I think I can just, like, pick the thing that's worst for them, which would be this one. Am I gonna gamble that? I mean, yeah, you know what? I am gonna gamble that. If they manage to survive this, then yeah, they get to live. If they don't, then we get to pick someone who could be better. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Darn. That actually really is bad because there's a lot of devotion. Yikes. Okay, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is gonna give him +1 admin, this is +1 diplo, this one is +1 mil, maybe? I don't actually know. I don't know if the strength of the claim indicates anything, but I have that bias where I see the big number and I'm like, I want that, so I'm gonna take the first one again. But of course, big number must automatically mean better, right? So, yeah. Oh no. Oh no. The desert may claim another soul. Gosh, that is really unfortunate. Oh yeah, we do have new estates, don't we? Because we're a theocracy now. Ooh, oh no, gosh, how tragic. That's really unfortunate. Oh no. Kinda sucks that we're losing like a ton of prestige and devotion though. Maybe I shouldn't have like played around with that first heir. They were pretty decent. That's unfortunate. Let's try this one. Maybe they'll survive. You know what, 4-4-3, at this point I'll take it. I'll take anything at this point. Okay, let's make something really simple, okay? Just protect the caravan. It's fine. Surely they're not gonna fail this one, right? Truly? No. We don't have to do that. That's okay. We're not gonna become a monarchy again. It was just a slight mishap. Only 2 potential heirs died. Could be worse, could be 3. Let's go ahead and sell some more titles, take some more crown land back, because we could use the money. Oh, we can reform pack military. What does that do? We'll gain a new set of units. Wait, what? Genuinely, what does that do? Also, it's 10 years where I mean, it's not like I can't fight. It's just, it's gonna be annoying. That's it. And what's wrong with the pack military exactly? Like, what's the issue with this? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, perfect. Let's go. Okay. Succession is secured with kind of a worse heir, but it's okay. We can now declare war on this guy, co-belligerent his ally, grab all of this territory. Shouldn't be a problem. Prospering times. Okay, time for our every game desert development. Coastal this time. Daring today, aren't we? Okay, to be fair, this time we are playing basically just like the desert country, so we'll go with manpower. We've taken everything from the enemy. I only want these 2 provinces from this guy, but I might as well take a little bit of money. War reps are useless though, so, well, not useless. I do get prestige. Okay, fine. And from this guy, of course, full annexation. Conveniently, the truce with Indurubu is also over, and nobody will help them. For the crime of existing independently on my border, we're gonna annex this guy. Not fully, because we can't technically take everything, but this should be fine. We do also have enough admin to pick up a second idea group. This one, I think I'm gonna go with something like Diplo. Maybe even just actual Diplo ideas. Yeah, you know what, I am gonna do that. So, you might be wondering this whole time, Corbett, why are you feeding this one march? It's gonna get way too large, maybe even rebellious. What's the point? You can't integrate this. Except that's where you're wrong. We can integrate it with this mission. Problem is, they're still coring stuff, so if I integrate them right now, then they're just like all their cores that they're still coring. It's gonna transfer to me. I'm gonna have to core that, and I don't feel like it. So we're gonna wait for them to finish coring, and then we can finish off that one mission. I did confirm they do have fewer than 60 provinces. They have, I think, 53 or something. So if I manage to integrate these guys, that's basically just saving me like a couple thousand admin, probably. We've also just finished converting a few of the provinces up here, which we had a mission for. Golden opportunity, as the civil wars up here have weakened the region, which is pretty self-evident by the fact that every gnoll in the vicinity is invading this area. So we get some movement speed, some shock damage for the rest of the game, a bit of army tradition, and some permanent claims. Next would be the actual war against Dishak. Problem is, we are at a limited capacity in terms of manpower, because we are currently restructuring the military. It's going to take another 7 years. Now at this point, none of these would be particularly useful. I guess other than war taxes would be alright. Tier 3 reform, I think we're going to go with the missionary strength one, although we are converting relatively well. That is until I have to annex this guy. That's gonna be a lot of provinces to convert, so I might as well prepare ahead of time, just grab the missionary strength. It appears my subject has finished coring all of the provinces, even though they haven't quite made them into states. That's not that big of a deal. In fact, if we give them long enough, they will, and maybe that'll save me admin. Never mind then. Let's sell a few titles, take some more land back. Again, not much to build with that, but I'll find something. Seriously? Really? No, no, come on. I try so hard to get one heir to survive the trials and he dies in a hunting accident? Okay, let's do this again. You know what, let's go with the last guy, why not? Oh, that's why not. 0 admin. And they didn't even get an additional point this time. Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? If she manages to survive a slightly harder trial, then good for her. And if she doesn't, then darn. It's gonna hurt the devotion quite a bit. Oh great, okay, a stab hit, that's perfect. We needed that right now. Okay, perfect. She survived. I mean, still only 10 points, but she survived, I guess. When she becomes ruler, we will get yearly prestige and yearly devotion. Okay, so maybe it'll make it easier to try to get another ruler. The high priest is like 60 years old, so I'm not expecting them to rule for too long. Subject has finished coring everything and stated all of it, which is also important. So now we just need to reduce their liberty desire a little bit. Should be pretty easy. 1 placate and then like 1 development somewhere. That'll do. The future of the pacts. Right, yes, this is our human pack in quotations. Now, this does technically, our decision in this mission is going to affect the reward for this mission. Because we could either decide to continue feeding this subject, and if we do that, then the reward down here will be an additional colonist for them, liberty desire for them, like reduction, and they also get governing capacity. So the only thing that's really cool about this, in my opinion, is the colonists. The liberty desire is alright, I guess. Helps keep them loyal. But the problem is, I don't care that much. And they have so much territory and a lot of development that I would really like to have. They have just shy of about 400 development. In fact, they might have more dev than we do. Or at the very least, it's close. I can only imagine the amount of manpower, tax, and production we could have been making off of all this land that instead our subject has been making for us. And I'd like to have that, so I'm going to integrate them. Grabbing all that territory is a slight problem. We just don't have that much governing capacity, so we're going to have to hand it out. Also, for the cleric, I think at this point I'll just revoke oversight and instead they can get land rights as well. Might as well give it to the nobility while we're here, because of course integrating somebody's going to give you a little bit of extra crown land, just like conquering. So now we have enough governing capacity, we can probably state most of this stuff. Beautiful. While I'm here, I might as well decrease a lot of the autonomy as well. It looks like the population is probably going to revolt anyway, so who cares? And look at that. Now we get 150 crowns from this, and 40 of each points. Another major boost for us is how much trade power we can actually take advantage of now. And also, ironwood trees. Interesting. Trees that produce actually just iron. Huh. I guess it can grow on trees. Interesting. Also, there's another thing, Ananoma. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Random promise modifiers aside, we will eventually have to colonize this. And in theory, that would have been done by our subject, but that's too bad. I might just grab something like expansion ideas or I don't know. Or wait for somebody else to come and colonize it, because then we can just steal it, and that's not a big problem either. We're actually not quite done with our conquests yet. I've allowed this rival pack to survive for way too long. It's time to remind them who is the number 2 great power. I'm afraid Jadari is probably going to occupy a little bit of the stuff I want, so I think I'm gonna peace out right about now. I don't really need these things. That's fine. I'll take this instead, just a little bit, and that should do it. The armies are more than a little bit battered. It wasn't exactly the easiest war. No manpower. It's good. We're doing great. Lots of revolts. It's pretty much what I expected. By the way, if this is your first time seeing Anbennar, which is totally possible, I should also mention that if you want to play the mod yourself, I would highly recommend playing as Jadari. They're like kind of handcrafted to be that new player experience in Anbennar. They're supposed to be super powerful. It's like you're playing the Ottomans, kind of. Oh, that's a lot of particularists. Oops. Okay. At this point, maybe I should slacken. I've been trying to avoid it, but yeah, maybe that's the last straw. Wait, I get to raid? Hold on, that's a game changer. I didn't even know that. Well, in that case, I should have been doing this ages ago. Yeah, that's enormous money, actually. Now we can deal with these rebels. What are these guys finding over there? This is like finding El Dorado and the Fountain of Youth in the same game. Or maybe it's predetermined, I don't know. Maybe it is. I do also need to just clean up this tag real quick. Oh yeah, we've discovered Elantir, I guess, by knowing about Venail. Okay, sure. Well, that means we can start our golden era, so I might as well. At this point, we just have one more war that we need to fight. For exactly 100% overextension, we can grab just enough territory to finish that one mission, which is very helpful for us because religious unity and tolerance of heathens is going to help us buffer a little bit of the unrest until we can convert these provinces. Oh yeah, I do have a little bit too much governing capacity, and yeah. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. Actually, I can't fix that. It's gonna take a while at least. Alright, with that final war and that last mission, I think we've done a pretty decent job at showcasing at least the early game for this country. I haven't even shown you a fraction of the missions yet. In fact, for all I know, this last mission could just give you more missions. I have no idea. It probably doesn't. I have been looking at them. These ones do bring you, at least to the degree that I would consider these missions to be like a full playthrough. There's at least enough in there that if I decided to go through the entire tree, this video would last until like at least the 1600s, maybe early 1650s. There's a lot to do here, and if I wanted to, I could decide to open up what I would consider like another chapter of this mission tree, which would be invading these guys. I think personally it would be kind of a tough war considering all of the allies, which is why I'm ending the video here. But I highly encourage you to try this country out yourself. As you can tell, it is a little bit of a tough one. Not the most brutal start in all of Anbennar. I would say that's a little bit closer to the last video I made on Anbennar if you want to watch that. But go ahead, the link to the mod is in the description, or you can just check out the Steam Workshop, it's on there as well, or join the Discord because they do have like basically beta versions of the update that they hold on a website called Bitbucket. I hope you enjoyed watching today's video, and presumably, if you made it this far to the end, then I would assume hopefully you did. And if so, leaving a like would be very much appreciated, or subscribing, you know, that would be an extra step, that would be great. But for now, this is Corbett signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day. Big shout out to the patrons for this month. All these people receive early access to videos, so if you want to yourself, it is literally just $1. If you want to donate more, you can, but you don't really have to. I would like to give a special thank you to those people though, including Erica, Baby Cow, Le Quebecer, Nick Steffel, Cuberoot, AG Forero, Ben Motram, Quiet Guy, Tor Valved, Ambient Cyan, James Levy, Luke78776, and Robert.